Hold up.
I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying safe at home, and I hope you have a beautiful weekend coming ahead of us. I want to talk about something that all of us can do to help people through their pain, whether it's in a large way or whether it's in a small way. There is always something that we can do to help people through their pain, and sometimes ourselves as well. You don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a nutritionist, you don't have to be a medical professional. Okay, you have to be those people in order to practice that practice. Like if you're not a doctor, you shouldn't be putting people on medication or getting them off it. If you're not a nutritionist, you shouldn't be advising people on something which is not not your expertise. But there is something that all of us do. In fact, children do this to us as adults automatically. What I'm teaching you today is how to be there for other people and how to have other people be there for you when you are going through suffering. A lot of people go through suffering. Every human being goes through suffering and pain. We will see loss of loved ones. We will grieve. We will see death of our closest people. It's going to happen. No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you do, in the most non-pessimistic way, we have to accept that the moment you are born, the process of dying starts. Now, what do? Do we allow that to get us to slip into depression? That, oh no, I can die anytime. I'm going to be so worried, and you become paranoid? Or does it teach us to enjoy life more abundantly? Make our life more meaningful. Try to get out of the rat race if you can. And try to figure out things that work for you. Everyone finds their own path. There are people in the rat race as well, but they found a balance in their life. They know what to focus on. They know the meaningful stuff that gives their life some meaning. I learned this lesson the hard way. Okay, I never came across a term called holding space for one another, which is one of the most healing things that you can do. As you know, I spend a lot of time with end-of-life patients, and in the prime of my career, maybe about 7 years ago, I was in New York, and I was speaking to this 82-year-old woman. She was on a deathbed. She had gone into organ failure. She had probably a couple of days, if not hours, left to live. She didn't have family. The only family around her were her doctors, myself, and she had a distant cousin who couldn't come down because she was suffering from Alzheimer's and she was based in Germany. So I would spend time with her. Medication had stopped working. She was in palliative care. She couldn't absorb most of the nutrition. She had pipes in her feeding her just to sustain her life. And one day, I didn't have that much of maturity at that point. I just started my career, I didn't have a lot of experience. So in my mind, I was always like, what can I do? What can I do? I was, looking for, foods, looking for things that could make her feel better, words to comfort her. And then she held my hand and she said, Luke, today, I don't want you to talk about food anymore. Just sit and listen to me. Just talk to me. And I was like, okay, let me do that. And I decided to just listen and not even try to, empathize with her, sympathize with her. And over the next 1 hour, the most beautiful lesson happened for me. And I think the most tremendous healing happened for her. She just spoke. She spoke about her life. She spoke about love. She spoke about lost love. She spoke about her kids. She spoke about hurt. She spoke about betrayal. She spoke about memories. She's spoken about fun things that happened, the naughty things that she did, the secrets that she has. And all I did was listen, because that's what she requested me to do. Not to talk, but just listen. At many points while she was talking, I was like, my mind was racing. No, I can tell her that that's not her fault. I can tell her that she did the right thing. But I didn't, because I was respecting what she asked me to do, which was keep my mouth shut. She said it in the kindest way possible, and just listen. And I listened to her. After that, we had lunch together. Like, she was in a hospital bed. I was having a smoothie. And she just had this beautiful expression on her face, one of calm, one of happiness. And she said, Luke, what you just gave me was the gift of listening. I just wanted to speak without anyone advising me, anyone judging me, anyone ridiculing me, anyone getting excited about what I was saying. And she's saying it's just like a whole weight off my heart. and I feel so good. I will never forget the expression on her face. She died a couple of days later. I wasn't there. I had headed back to India. But what that taught me was, why as human beings do we always want to try to say something, empathize, sympathize? It's all good. But when someone's going through terrible loss, the loss of a loved one, your words can never bring back that person. Your words can never. I think the most powerful words, I started reading about this and I realized it's a space. It's called a holding space, which spirituality teaches us how to hold space for someone when there's nothing that you can do. When you know that the words coming out of your mouth, you may have intention but are meaningless. They can't bring back a lost one. They can't comfort a mother whose baby's dying. So holding space is something all of us can do for one another, and we're going to learn that today. It's very, very simple. Holding space means, how do I hold a space between myself and that person who's going through pain? The number one skill that we learn is deep listening, where you just listen. You don't even make eye contact. You put your head down and you listen. Deep listening. Your mind will keep running forward. You want to say things, you want to comfort the person or whatever it is, but you just keep your mouth shut and you listen. It's called deep listening, where you listen deeply and you allow that person. A lot of people don't want advice. A lot of people don't want comfort. They just want to be heard. And that's the same with all of us. We all want to be heard, whether it's our success, whether it's the things we're doing, whether it's someone else's success. Everyone wants to be heard. It's a human thing in our own ways. So some people express themselves differently, some through art, some through songs, some through tattoos, some through literature, some through movies, some through scripts, some through their work, some through social media. Different ways of expressing how we want to be heard. There is a deep human craving to be heard. And that's why sometimes when we can vent it out and talk, why do we feel so good? Every psychologist, every psychiatrist, every emotional healer knows this, that a person can feel better only when they are given a free space to express themselves. So the first step of learning to hold space for someone. Today we've lost a lot of people in our lives with COVID and all. We're probably in the midst of losing someone, but by mastering the skill, it can bring you peace and the other person a lot of healing. So number one, everyone that you're trying to comfort or help through a difficult time, there's only one thing they need to know. And you need to say it from the depth of your heart, but if people can see through and feel through the words that you say. The only one thing is, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. And if you can't be there for them when they need you, don't say it. That's also okay, because we can't always be there for everyone. We can't always do that, but you got to be truthful. So I'm there for you. That's all. Not like I can do this, I can do that. Out come the cell phones, let me call up my doctors and all of that stuff and do all of it. You can do that in the background. But right now, the person in front of you probably only needs to be heard. So the first thing is deep listening, okay? The second is, while the person is talking, never interrupt, never say anything. Don't give them advice. If they ask you, it's different. Don't give them sympathy. Don't give them empathy. You don't have to give them that during the space of healing that you're doing for them. You can do it otherwise, but right now, no. They may start crying, they may start abusing, whatever. Hold the space. Holding the space means you hold the space between you and them. You're in a space, they are in a space. And there is nothing being said and nothing being done. So no reactions from you. Keep your issues and your emotions out of it. As they're talking about it, you may find your own issues and your own emotions slowly trying to, get entangled in that. You may start feeling fearful that, oh no, what if her suffering can happen to me? It could happen to my kid. Keep that clear. This is about her, him, and you listening. So don't be very mindful to make sure that your emotions don't get entangled. Also be open to any emotions that may come up from the person. I've had very, very, elegant people suddenly start abusing and using the F words and the B words and all of that stuff. But it's good, it's beautiful, it's coming out of them. And in your mind is, I never thought this person could even say that word. But it's coming out. Everything that we've suppressed has to be expressed at some point in our life. If it's not through words, it's through action. If it's not through action, it's through behavior. If it's not through behavior, it is also sometimes, unfortunately, through disease. But what we suppress has to come to the surface. So be open to emotions. Don't make it about you. That, oh yeah, even I went through this and this is what I did. Oh yeah, I feel you, I went through this as well. It is not about you. It's about holding the space for the other person. These are the things that you can do. And it's difficult to do because the human mind, we always say, but I know what I say, whatever I share with her can help her or help him. Hold the space. When you are asked for advice, you can give it. But at this point, when someone's going through pain and suffering, you don't have to do that. It's like I have a bone cancer patient, and no matter what they do, the steroids won't work anymore, the morphine won't work anymore, and then we're still trying. Okay, breathe, take deep breaths, focus on the pain, try to visualize it away. Sometimes none of that's going to work. Hold the space. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Talk to me. Or even if there's nothing to be spoken, just be there. Hold their hand and listen. Even to silence. Silence is a beautiful thing. Just listen. Sometimes the beauty of silence is no words at all, and that is beautiful and powerful in its own way. You're not trying to make the patient in their mind is like, you don't even understand the pain I'm going through, and you're trying to say all these things. It kind of creates more stress in them. So holding space can happen with silence. It can happen with the other person talking and you giving the gift of deep listening. This is very, very powerful. You can practice this sometimes even with your elderly parents. If they're telling you the same old story that they've told you 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, listen. They know they've told you the story. They know they've told it to you. But for them, it makes them happy to relive that experience, to look for that little bit of appreciation, that wow factor in you when you speak to them that way. It is so important for us to learn to hold space. With our children too. You're busy. Your child comes back and starts passionately telling you about their class or their day or what they did. Hold space. Give them deep listening. You don't have to say, oh, you did that. Oh my God, it's so dangerous. Oh no, let me call up the teacher. Oh no, that's not the way to do it. Okay, if you did it this way. No, children don't need that. They don't need that, and adults don't need that. The beauty of holding space is let them speak. They're so passionate about what they're telling you. They'll feel so good. But the moment you interject and you try to come in with your own ways of doing it, you spoil the whole flow of everything. And eventually, children won't even speak to you anymore that way. So we can hold space for children. We can hold space with our partners as well. When they're angry, when whatever, like I understand. Don't try to, you can nag later, you can bring up the past later, you can decide the future later, but sometimes just holding that space is a very powerful thing, not for just for your partner, but for yourself as well. Because whenever there's conflict, there is ego and pride. Conflict cannot exist without ego and pride, and it's going to happen naturally with both people. So holding space for one another, you can hold space for an angry partner. An angry partner can hold space for you as well, and that's a beautiful thing. So these are the things that we can do in every aspect of your life. You can hold space for someone else. It's healing for you, it's healing for the other person. And sometimes when we all feel that nothing makes us feel good, materialism, more money, more outings, more socializing, and we still have that feeling of emptiness within, the most beautiful impact and feeling of greatness can come from when you are able to impact someone else's life. And you don't have to be big for that. You don't have to be rich for that. You don't have to be wealthy for that. You can just use your ears and give someone the gift of listening, holding space. And I can't tell you the amount of healing and peace that you will bring to that person and you. And more incredible, what's in it for you? The feeling that you have brought someone peace is priceless. Brought someone healing in any way, the smallest way, is priceless. The prize isn't in getting a cancer patient into remission. That's a prize for the patient. The prize is also having that patient live for their family. The joy of the family, seeing them alive, knowing that they have more time. It's much bigger than that. It is how we feel when we're able to impact people even in the smallest way possible. A child can walk up to you when you're so stressed out and just give you a hug, and that's priceless. No walk in nature can make you feel that way. No marijuana, no alcohol, no nothing. No handbags, no Rolex watches can give you that same feeling as a hug. Priceless. Everyone has the gift to heal someone. You just got to find out what that gift is that you have and exploit it in the most honest way and with integrity. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. And remember, you care is all about you. And I must add, you can also ask other people to hold space for you as well. Sometimes when you just want to talk, you can ask the other person, can you just give me deep listening? Nothing else. And you speak your heart out. This is one of the most healing exercises that you can do for yourself and for someone else. Have a great weekend, everyone.